The reception of the teachings by Jesus started at 6:15 a.m. on September 29th, 2006, in Vilnius, capital city of Lithuania. First, the source of truth is the self from the Father. My beloved brother and all other beloved brethren who are currently reading these teachings of mine that are being transmitted to you through this, my beloved brother, even as all my other equally beloved brethren, you shall have a chance to experience greater light compared with the one you have experienced to date, while reading the description of my teachings in the Scripture, called by you the Holy Scripture, or the New Testament. The truth and light of this Scripture had great significance 2,000 years ago, when humanity had different conditions of living, conditions of great danger and violence. Now the time has come when humanity has a large variety of choices of their own free will as to what they might relish and show interest in and follow. How can a man follow something having just one source in writing, which he has named the Bible, and he lays his trust in it merely because its truth has survived for 2,000 years? The truth has no time frame and bears no meaning in time if it is felt by man's heart, and man's heart equals man's inner voice that is understood more simply as his conscience, as the voice of his soul, as the voice of God, as the true measure of his fairness and morality, that on the highest level discerns truth, even though he does not yet perceive consciously what is the truth. To feel your own growth as well as that of your brethren, you must have greater written papers of truth and light that you can verify with your own inner voice, with the voice of your own soul. And this verification is live. It is the voice of God from within. That is why it must not be of importance to your inner voice whether this written source has already survived for 2,000 years or if it has just appeared amongst you. It is your own inner self that gives this solid confirmation of whether you have run into a greater light or, on the contrary, this light suppresses you and distracts you from revealing yourself and blossoming in new colors of your own self. Now I am beginning to transmit to you my new and closer to the concept of the present day development of your civilization, updated teachings that will raise each of you to a higher level that you need, a level higher than the one you might have experienced while perusing the so-called Holy Scripture, the New and Old Testaments. In this portion of truth that you will receive from my teaching that I am passing through, my beloved brother, to you is meant for your own development and for the expansion of your understanding, both of my own person when I lived while in the flesh as Jesus of Nazareth, and of the supreme divine reality of the person of the Father, that I, as well as you are, within. Each of us is within him, and we cannot transcend him. No creature can transcend Creator, however developed that creature might be, and whatever desire to grow that creature might have. Second, why are these teachings revealed? Right from the very beginning, I want to explain to you, my beloved brethren, as to why I have undertaken this task of transmitting these teachings through my beloved brother. I have transmitted my teachings through my beloved sister who lives in Africa, and these teachings have been named Christ's letters. This brother in spirit, who is currently receiving these teachings of mine, got acquainted with them. I am also giving them to him so that you, who are not yet able to directly commune with me, might also read them. Christ's letters were transmitted through my beloved sister in English, so that it would be easier to translate them into other world languages, to spread them all over the world. Your brother in spirit, who is taking down these teachings of mine, having read Christ's letters, felt an ever-growing desire to translate them into his native tongue. He has been directly communing with me for many a year and receiving teachings from me, the way my beloved sister recorded my teachings and named them as Christ's letters. Once he addressed the Spirit of the Father for assistance, the Spirit of the Father that also indwells each of you, and which each of you can also establish a direct communion with. He was asking the Father for help in translating Christ's letters into his native language, and then an idea struck his mind to record Christ's letters directly in communion with me rather than to translate them. The Father has approved of this idea and let everything proceed according to our mutual agreement. This decision of my brother in spirit was exactly what the Father wished and I desired, and for which my brother in spirit had been prepared during many a year to take up. That is why I am happy about such a decision of my brother in spirit, and I have accepted his offer with pleasure to pass on to you, my dears, such a teaching that corresponds to the teaching transmitted through my beloved sister in spirit in Africa, in English, entitled Christ's Letters. But this is not the translation of Christ's letters into the Lithuanian language. Neither is it their retelling in your native language. It is my teaching to you who read it in Lithuanian, irrespective of the mortal's nationality who is reading it, irrespective of one's religion, irrespective of what race one is a child of. These teachings are meant for all those who desire to grow in spirit, even beyond the limit of their imagination. In reality, this growth is endless. One's spiritual growth is infinite. It is eternal. As equally infinite and endless is the knowing of all of creation. It is only you, each of you, making up the limitations of your own growth. If you tell your own selves that you do not want to grow anymore, that it is enough for you, it is this that makes up the major obstacle and the principal limitation to your personal growth. There is no other force in all of creation for your personal spiritual growth and to the growth of your personal knowledge of creation apart from your personal will.